In this video, we're going to show you how to make this adorable dimensional quilt block for a little duck. This turns out so cute. I think the video will really show you how simple it is to make. Come to our website, www.thimble-art.com, and see all of our video tutorials and patterns. You start by Xeroxing your main block piece, and you'll Xerox the page that has the dimensional pieces. Then you make each of these pieces by placing the paper pattern on top of two pieces of fabric right side together and thin polyester bonded batting. Then you're going to sew on the outside solid line. I set the stitch length just a little bit closer together so that it'll perforate the paper and be easier to tear out. I like to backstitch where the solid line begins and ends. So when I'm tearing the paper out, the stitches will not be pulled. You cut on the outside dash line and see where there's not a solid line, that's going to be open for turning. You take the paper out, and that will include these little seams. Will have little thin paper that you'll pull out, turn it right side out, and press it so that all the edges are well defined. Now, if you use a hot iron, it will press the batting down flatter, which is just a different look, or you can use a cooler iron. Now, to piece this duck, I've Xeroxed my block. I've cut a piece of background fabric larger than area 1, and of course I placed it on the unprinted side of the paper pattern right side away. Then I'm going to machine baste where the duck, the wing, and the head meet that seam, and it will be transferred that marking to this side. Then I'll place the body 1/4 inch above that line, then the wing, which will align with that edge, and then the head. And the head will align here at the neck. Pin that to secure. Then I'm going to place another piece of background fabric larger than area 2, which is the next piece I'm going to add, and it's going to be face down, also past that basting. Pin that to secure. Turn it over. Then I'm going to sew that whole line. That will enclose the raw edges of the wing and the body and the head. Then I'm going to open it up and press it flat. I'll trim the extra of the seam, and we'll show you that. Once that whole line is stitched, it will fold back and cover area 2. Now there'll be extra fabric in that seam. You could trim that out, press it so that it will lay flat. Then on this side, I've done machine baste where the duck bill meets that seam to transfer it to this side. So I've got the basting for the duck bill. I'm going to place the open edge 1/4 inch past that basting, pin it to secure. Then I've got another piece of background fabric larger than area 3. I'm going to place it right side down along the edge of that duck bill so the bulk of the fabric is opposite where I'm covering. Then I'll turn it over and sew the whole line across that whole block. And then I'll trim the extra out of the seam. I'll show you what that looks like. Once that whole line is sewn, we're going to trim the extra out of the seam and fold it back. Make sure this fabric covers all of area 3. Then the little head for the duck will tack back, and we'll show you how to blind stitch these dimensional pieces so they stay dimensional, and we'll show you how to satin stitch the eye and blush the cheek. And then before you take the paper out, you're going to cut it out on the outside dash line to make it square.